If you were to take one NQ trade today from open to close, you would have made over $9,000. My name is Aaron, and in this video, I want to show you how I was able to see the 450 point move in our Discord this morning before it happened. Let's get into it. All right, so today what we saw was a nice channel this morning that I was actually looking at. We had this beautiful play here. You could kind of move this out a little bit more, pull it in, and this was a great channel. We have to understand what this means. So this is just liquidity building up to the downside, and we can see that we started to create higher lows here on the 30-minute, which is really indicating to me that if we could break above this and get above this dotted line, which is the VWAP, that we had really good potential to move up. And so that's what we did. This morning around, I would say 8:39, so it was around this time I actually posted that we had potential of moving up to this 2600 level. So if we go back to the Discord, I'll show you this. So in the pre-market setups this morning, I did show this. I show this every morning. There's a if strong and if weak. So on the if weak side, it said if on the 4 hour, if we don't see the potential of moving up to the 9 and pink, we would reject and move down. That's what this one was. That's not the case that happened. We actually got the strong. So if we were going to be strong, we're going to form this inverse head and shoulders. I like to call those shampoos. And you know, if we could see this right shoulder potentially building support, and then off of that support, we would move up to basically 3 levels. So the first level would be this gap that we had. Now, I don't like to play gaps, but it was on the chart. I did mark it. I know people are aware of those. So we did have this gap at 25,650. And then from there, we definitely had a lot of strength. I had a really good feeling we were going to get to this green line. This is the EMA. So this is the 30-minute 200 EMA. That is a pretty strong level. So we got up to that level, and when we did, I wanted to see how we reacted, and we did. We actually broke through that to the upside, and so it wasn't as strong after that, but we were able to get up close to this 26K level. I believe we got up to around 950, almost the 26K. But again, from this morning of when we saw that to when it happened, that's over 450 points that we moved. And so, this morning we saw this big move, but what we can do is I'm actually going to dive down into the lower time frames to just show you some of the things that we talk about. Again, if this is helpful, if you're seeing things of what we're talking about, I actually trade not based on indicators. I do have a few, but those aren't the reasons that I'm taking trades, right? I'm seeing the price action. I'm understanding what's going on within the market to take trades. And so in our Discord, if you want to check it out, we'll be talking about the 3 main elements of trading, which is the technicals, there is the psychological, and then there's the risk management piece of trading. Now you have to have all 3 of those to be a successful trader. It's taken me a long time to get to that point, but now I feel like I really want to share something I found that really works. So again, let's look at kind of what we saw here. So this morning, I actually was done pretty early. I did see this in the morning, so 8:05 to 8:30. We had this double bottom that we created here, right? So you can see these two. This has been playing out a lot recently. So I talk about structure, I talk about zones, I talk about candle formations, and I talk about basically just levels, right? Understanding where we're going in trends. And so this structure was really showing a W pattern essentially, right? So I knew if we could break this level to the upside, again, we were getting all these resistance levels here. If we could break through that, I knew that there was a really good chance for us to move up. And that's exactly what we did. So moved up, we took our way up to this level. And so where I would actually be looking at is right here to take off the table. Now, in our Discord, I talked about the psychological piece of this. You do want to try to take around these areas because this is where potentially we could come back to create this cup to move up, right? And so that was something I wanted to look at. We didn't get that. We actually created support here to then move up at the 930 moment, but that was a big play there. I knew I actually wasn't a play when we opened. I had pretty good understanding of what we were doing. We're above the 9. Again, that's something else I use is the EMAs and the VWAP. I use the 9 EMA. So this is the pink is the 9 EMA, the green is the 200 EMA, and then the dashes are the VWAP. Now, I'm not playing specifically on those particular indicators, but it's just another piece of confluence that we use to feel confident about what we're taking, right? So we had this move in the day, and you can see what we started to do, right? You can see it here. We went up, and then we really kind of we kind of faded, and we started to build liquidity here, right? We're just building this liquidity. We had the larger move this morning, so just kind of take note of that. If you wanted to, you could try to take the play after this push down, or we did push up, but I would be careful. I actually did take this play right here. So there's really 2 plays I took today. I'll talk through this one, and then we'll talk about tomorrow and maybe what we could see on the February 3rd charts. So what did I see here, right? We had a huge move up, and this is what I saw. I actually went down the 2-minute, and on the 2-minute, I loved trading on the 2-minute. It's a really good place to trade. I saw that we were creating this M pattern. Now, if we're going to be strong, we're going to do these W patterns like this, which I did earlier. But this pattern is going to be something similar to this. Down, go up, and then break down, right? So that's kind of what I was looking at. So we move up. We really create this resistance level. We break down. We tried to attempt to move back up. We can't. And so when we got below this area, around here, I actually took a short, and I took that down all the way to this level right here. So that was another really good move. Again, there's a lot of volatility in the market. So if you're trying to play on a $2,000 prop firm, you're playing 3-4 NQ positions, you're probably going to be blowing accounts. Even if you know what you're doing, you know the moves, risk management is important. If you're not focused on that, you will lose in the long term. So that was another play that we saw. Again, what can we really see tomorrow as we're kind of looking at the charts? Let me go ahead and zoom out, and we'll check that out, and then we'll finish this video up. So for tomorrow, February 3rd, let me get all the way over. All right, so what do we see? So these are just zones that I have marked on the charts. Nothing too crazy, just areas of resistance and support. Well, you can see what we're doing right now, right? We've actually created, I'm sorry, that's the 4 hour. Let me give you the daily. So the daily looks pretty strong. Now we do have reasons that we could actually come back down. We could potentially bounce. So we could come back down, maybe create a tail of sorts here, and then move up off of that. So that's an option. So we could actually move down before we move up. Let's go ahead and look at the hourly. Hourly looks pretty good. So I would say, we're still in this structure of an inverse head and shoulders to where we really could try to move up to this area. So this would put us around this 26,300, 350 area. If we're really going to be strong, we'll probably get some liquidity resistance up here. So I'd be careful of that. But I could see that in the morning, potentially on the volume pushing up out of that. I would be looking at this on the lower time frames, but knowing at the higher time frames, that's what we're seeing. I can see that could be a potential play. So again, make sure you check out the Discord, subscribe if you think this is helpful. I'll be posting these videos daily. And then also make sure you give this a like. And in the morning, I'll be posting on the Discord and in my YouTube stream, or I'm sorry, in my channel, the if weak, if strong scenario. So make sure you check that out. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later.